Have you ever wanted to break away from the conventional norms in any of the packaging design or brand design that you're creating? Have you ever thought that your designs were just not pushing the boundaries? Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Nick Longo from Longo Designs here in Los Angeles, California. Let's journey into an exhilarating world of disruptive packaging design. I'm calling this revolutionizing design, how you can define convention and embrace the unconventional anytime you are creating your next packaging design. So buckle up because we're about to explore how breaking away from this conventional norm in packaging can create those waves in the marketplace that you and your client are both hoping to create. So where did this all begin? Well, it started with a very simple conversation I had with a client of mine. The client had a conversation with a retail buyer of a fairly big chain of stores here in the country. They were told that they really loved the product, but they thought that the packaging was just a little bit too conventional. So I have to admit, I was taken aback here. I didn't know what to think, but it did spark something within me. It was kind of like this little revelation of my process, my creative boundaries, and the path that I chart with my clients each time we create something new from them. So this feedback basically ignited a little bit of a fire in me, and it came right at the right time in crafting this presentation. This was a fire of a little curiosity meets a little bit of self-reflection, and I had to ask, as a designer, have I become just too comfortable in the realm of the conventional? Have I been hesitant to challenge the status quo with this fear of alienating maybe the masses or a particular demographic that we had or a target customer that we had from the brief? It was a moment of reckoning, and one that led me to question not only my own approach, but the broader design landscape in general. So today we're going to embark on this journey inspired by that single conversation. We dare to question, we dare to challenge, and to explore. Here, we can celebrate the rebels and these visionaries, the designers who have refused to be boxed in with tradition. And together we can uncover the power of unconventional design and packaging and impact on the brands that we are working on and the consumers as well, and how it can serve as a catalyst for this market disruption that we want to shoot for. So my friends, as we navigate the uncharted waters of design rebellion, I invite you to join me in this exploration. We can embrace the audacious, the unconventional, and the bold. Together, we can uncover the genius in defiance and the power of disruption and the beauty of forging a new path. So welcome to this revolutionizing design, defining conventions and embracing the unconventional. Take a look at this example. This is the most conventional, maybe olive oil packaging you can see. Here we see the familiar, we see the ordinary, and the packaging that kind of blends in with everything else out there. We can look at the bottle shape, we can look at the colors, we can look at the typography, all of the things that were typically chosen for there. It's not bad, but it might just be conventional. Now, shift your focus to this. This is Graza. I'm sure you've probably seen it. I, as a wannabe home chef, have been using this for the last few months, but it has made quite a wave in the marketplace. It's very vivid, it's a little bit daring, and it defies a lot of those norms that we typically go with when what does an olive oil bottle look like? What sets them apart? Is it their boldness? Is it a little bit of the unexpectedness that you get here? Does that command the attention? Maybe it's the fun illustration on there as well. Graza's distinct packaging helped make this evolution possible. They have created an incredible success. They have sold over 500,000 units without a single paid ad. They really are concentrating on how the bottle and the graphics and the branding are really inspiring social media. Also, think about cheap and even luxury olive oil brands out there. They usually sell themselves in glass. They usually sell themselves in wider mouth bottles, but Graza chose this yellow and green topped squeeze bottle. Sets them apart, and it's visually ties together in with the branding that they're doing and all of their user generated social media content. Just the application of it, putting it in the squeeze bottle, made quite a difference. So there's probably one of the biggest things that made them very unconventional is just the choice of what they chose for their packaging. Disruptive packaging isn't just eye candy, right? It's a marketing disruptor. Brands embracing this strategy have seen significant impacts. Think of a lot of these brands that you see right here. I'm sure most of you have used them in maybe some brand boards or some of your mood boards in the past. I know I have. They dared to challenge these norms, and they saw remarkable market penetration, increased sales, and enhanced brand recognition. I think that's the number one thing that these are really doing. They might be simple, they might have unique typographies, they might have bright colors, but I'm telling you something, they are creating brand recognition. And in this world where we're bombarded with all of these choices, the disruptive packaging serves as a little bit of a beacon. And that's kind of what our job is to do with any new products that we help a brand or a client launch. It's not just about the aesthetics. It's about altering the perceptions, sparking the curiosity, and leaving a mark. Consider the power of disruption in your packaging design. It just might be that game-changing element that your brand or your client needs. This segment aims to highlight how unconventional design serves as a powerful tool for crafting authentic brand narratives and things that resonate with the client, things that resonate with the consumer. Visuals and case studies provide tangible examples, and the conclusions reinforce the importance of design authenticity in storytelling. And where else would you start without looking at Apple? Apple's packaging, still to this day, there's something very unique and totally unique and different than I've seen in anything else. Apple's that perfect example of how unconventional design aligns perfect with the art of an authentic brand storytelling, who they are as a brand. This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about weaving narratives that resonate, that build emotion, build connections, and ultimately make a memorable impact. Let's not forget how conventional packaging looked before Apple kind of turned things upside down. There's a very funny video that explores the difference between if Microsoft started an iPod as opposed to Apple. But let's even just look at something here that was Microsoft's digital imaging software box from 2006. Then you look at when Apple created Aperture. There's something about Apple products that just shows a finesse and an elegance. Apple's packaging aesthetic is a masterclass in the art of that storytelling. It connects so many different things. It reflects the company's unwavering commitment to simplicity, innovation, and user-centric design. Opening an Apple product is like no other, right? It feels like you're unwrapping a gift, creating an emotional bond between the consumer and the brand. And this meticulous attention to detail is in every interaction with the Apple product. The unwrapping, each little element, how it comes off, it's memorable. But what I love about it the most is how it does connect to the whole DNA of Apple being simple and easy to use. And you're getting it right from the first experience with their packaging. This is a unique one as well. Diana's frozen products here. This is a frozen banana. This designer was tasked with redesigning the packaging for a better brand recognition and equity, bringing all the packs into alignment and setting the brand up for success as it expands into innovative offerings. And you can see from the top row with the before and how the bottom one here kind of took to a new Defiant brand. It definitely played off of Diana's. It's got these great new typography and lettering and wonderful food photography and packaging as well. And you can see here too that each flavor has its own ownable color that helps it distinguish itself on the shelves. So it's got bright and poppy, vivid colors to jump off the shelf. A huge success for this brand as well. This was a big opportunity for the Badger Brewery Company, and they wanted to enter a new segment that they hadn't explored before, and it was this opportunity to close the gap between maybe what a traditional ale is and a craft beer might be. This is their new brand, and you can see the new positioning and the branding gently blurs those lines between craft and traditional sectors, giving Badger a contemporary feel that still amplifies the brand's powerful and nostalgic elements. But what a huge, bold new design here to kind of ignite the brand as well. Taking the brand from a more muted space here, you can see the Public Spirits. This was rebranded from before to after, and you can see there's a full new bright, bold personality, and the new bottle design makes much more of an impact than maybe the other one. Could that have been too traditional and maybe used by some of the competitors? You never know. The typography now feels more engaging and has this bright color to call out an action and basically be pulled right off the shelf. A beautiful, new, defined, very defiant kind of new design here as well. Here's a brand that we just created as well for a company called Charmly. And at its core, design and everything you're trying to do for a company is storytelling in so many different ways. Every curve and color and detail communicates that message, and it's a narrative that influences how consumers perceive the brand and quite possibly, hopefully, buy it. Authenticity is storytelling that becomes the cornerstone of a successful brand. And we created everything from merch and iconography and different things like that and photo settings to create what was the entire storytelling all together cohesively in one unique brand. There's so many other case studies, and these are just current trends that you can show. Unconventional design. It breaks free from those shackles of tradition. It allows the brand to really break that mold and redefine themselves in a lot of different ways. Here, there are a few examples that show it with great color choices, great typography that really call out, and it includes the consumer into that experience and transcends typically what would be the ordinary in a lot of these industries. Here's another one, craft beer labels that narrate the origins of specific characteristics or maybe connect with the consumer with the way that the owners and the company themselves have passionately created these brands. When authenticity is woven into the unconventional design, it creates emotional connections with consumers. These connections go beyond product features. They touch the heart, and they really do build that brand loyalty. You've seen systems, and you've seen brand looks and brand lines. That creates this idea that you're building brand loyalty. How can you buy just one when there's others around there that kind of fill in the gaps and create an entire family of packaging for you to buy as a consumer? Remember that unconventional design isn't about mere aesthetics. It's about crafting authentic narratives that resonate with the customer. It's about breaking free from conventions to form lasting emotional connections. To follow rebels and storytellers, let's continue to challenge those norms. Create unforgettable narratives. There's no rules here, right? We can kind of redefine the world of design and branding by keeping these things in mind. In this segment, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the fascinating realm of design rebellion and its profound influence on consumer perceptions. How do unconventional design choices alter the way consumers perceive brands? Let's explore a little bit. So, here's one. Design isn't just about aesthetics. It's a tool that shapes perceptions. Unconventional design dares to challenge norms, disrupting the expected and inviting consumers to see the world differently. Here, typical vibe of what might be the gummy bear packaging of the past. Let's call it the traditional, the conventional. How do we make it unconventional? It's everything from not just the brand itself, but the offering and the copywriting. This is Behave. They're an incredible candy company. They have this unique kind of rebellious packaging design as well. And one of the things here is they are this low sugar candy that's very good. So you don't have to be. So it's this idea of not only do they call it Behave, but they're kind of crossing it out saying, you don't have to behave here. Go a little bit wild. So even just in their name choice, they have taken it to a whole other area where you would say yes if that sweet tooth arrives anytime. So this is such a cool example of how you could be a little bit rebellious with even the name. Another before and after, this is a company called The Botanist. They had a very kind of typical design when it came to their herbal oils and different offerings. And as they changed, you can see their after now has a pivotal role in the brand's new journey. This unconventional design triggers curiosity and it captivates consumer attention because of its just unique unity and comprehensive vibe. They prompted customers to look a little bit deeper and ponder, and more importantly, remember. This is one of those brands you would just remember as you are looking through the aisle as well. Here's another brand. This is called All Plants, and it is a plant-based food delivery system. And again, it kind of had the traditional, conventional vibes here. But how do we turn this into something a little bit different? Well, they went completely unconventional with this design, and it doesn't just capture attention, it builds trust. When brands embrace this and it's a little bit of rebellion against what maybe some of the other competitors are doing, they showcase this willingness to innovate, and that resonates with the modern consumer more than ever. One of the best, just pure inspirations you've got to check out is this unique store called the Pop-Up Grocer. It's a spot in New York. I have never been there, but I'm telling you, follow them on Instagram. You'll see them there at popup.grocer. What's so neat about these guys is they made a specific and curious choice to create a new store experience for the shopper. They respect that you appreciate the aesthetics, and they make total subjective decisions on the packaging and the brands that they choose based on their design. It's pretty funny that a small store would do that. You'll discover products that are hard to find, ones that you won't see elsewhere, and that they support a growth in a lot of the independent marketers. They're an amazing resource for anyone in the food and beverage packaging industry, and I really implore you to kind of check them out and follow them out. They do post some really great stuff as well. And when they were showing off their top brands of 2023, you notice they are all in that disruptive space. These are all brands that we have been looking at on the brand boards and that we are seeing in Pinterest. Incredibly, Behave is #1 there as well, that gummy bear brand. So you can see that these brands are really igniting and they're making a big difference. I thought this was really cool. They even showed their top packaging colors for 2023, and it's no surprise that something like pink is the #1 seller. And it became this kind of like universal color to just grab attention. Notice #2 is kind of a bright, vivid blue. You've even got yellow, red, and white in there. So it's kind of neat to see that it really started with some primaries and then the punch of this pink to be #1. So shaking things up, there's other ways you can do it. You can do it in the packaging container itself. These are whiskeys and vodkas and gins, and then below are some seltzers. And these are put in these old-fashioned tin cans with the screw top on the top. This is a very unique way that you can be a bit rebellious with your branding, is by doing it in an unexpected container. Copywriting. I've been using ChatGPT and all different kinds of copywriting tools and copywriters to enhance my packaging and my brand offerings as well. This resonates with the consumer so quickly. If you can give them a game-changing conversation, unbelievable advantage. Next up, typography. Again, all of these brands are showing off how typography is just shouting at the consumer. And again, all of these are just uniquely shown with balance of color, balance of copywriting, and now typography to really sell and grab the attention on the shelves. Another great one is just illustration. Everything from doodles to cute, fun illustrations to even graffiti and spray paint, whatever it might be. These are unique ways to personalize and make these things feel a little bit off the beaten path. Also, colors and neon. There's so many great ways that these things can pop. We've seen it in probably every mood board that you've looked at over the past year, right? Is that these neons and that pink color just becoming the #1 seller. It's telling us how to grab the attention from all of this clutter. Holographic, you've seen this as well. You can see it in the paper, in the inks, in the foils, in the pouches. It's all there to use. See if it works. It might be something really unique. But one thing I want you to consider, those are all great ideas and things that you can start implementing today. But don't forget about the why. The rationale behind disruptive design serves as this guiding light. It's providing context, meaning, and a sense of purpose to every element of that packaging. It elevates the design, obviously, from a mere aesthetic to a powerful tool, but you want to make sure all those choices or anything you're doing are still connecting with the consumer. And it's leaving that mark. It's the ultimate kind of driving brand loyalty and marketing success. In essence, it's not just about that pretty picture or the cool ink that you might choose. It's about a meaningful story that makes a lasting impact with your consumer. So where does a lot of this spontaneity and a lot of this chemistry when it comes to brand and being a disruptor come from? This is a unique philosophy, and it's beautifully blending two things, the familiar and the innovative. It's called the Maya principle, and it was designed by this revolutionary designer, Raymond Loewy. And Maya stands for most advanced, yet acceptable. Think about that for a second. Just so great. Most advanced, yet acceptable. It's a powerful framework for designing products and packaging that are simultaneously innovative and relatable. That's really the core. You want to make sure there are both of those sections in there. At its core, this principle encourages us to strike a delicate balance. On one hand, it urges us to push the boundaries of innovation, to challenge conventions, and to create designs that are groundbreaking. These are all the things that we've been wanting to do. On the other hand, it emphasizes the importance of maintaining a sense of familiarity, ensuring that the consumer can relate and connect with your designs. So, familiarity. It's that bridge between the known and the unknown. It's like that comforting handrail that guides consumers through this journey of innovation. When people encounter a design that feels somewhat familiar, call it nostalgic, they're more likely to embrace that. And this is a perfect example. You've got the milk carton, the milk bottle. We know that from a mile away, right? That shape, that's got the nostalgic, it's got the history. Same with the butter container, the butter carton. We know that from far away, and we know the tradition, that's where it lives, and that gives us that sense of familiarity. But now, what if we twisted that and gave it something unique innovation, but it respects the tradition of that particular model? So imagine doing a unique, fun, and new graphic design version on that same bottle, or doing something really fun and different on the model of the butter packaging. This principle is all about respecting the tradition of what we know and the history and the culture that is boldly embracing the future. So how do we combine those two? That's kind of what the Maya effect is all about. When applied to brands and packaging design, this principle allows us to create designs that resonate deeply with the consumer. Just remember that the Maya principle offers a profound lesson. It's a lesson in designing both for the present and the future. It's the familiar and the innovative. And by striking this balance, we can create designs that not only capture attention, but also stand out and stand the test of time. It's a principle that invites us to be daring yet relatable, inventive yet connecting. But it's all about that craft design that we're trying to create that will both inspire and endure. So let's navigate a little bit to the landscape of risks and benefits associated with embracing this unconventional design choice. As we push these boundaries, it's crucial to understand the challenges and rewards that come with it. And there are both, which is really kind of cool. The unconventional design isn't without its hurdles. Don't be mistaken. This could be a little bit polarizing. This could be a little confusing. It could be a little bit misunderstood. You can see a lot out there that is really kind of going across the line, it seems like, with the unconventional design. And if it's just kind of confusing the consumer, it's really not working. So let's explore the potential risks, the challenges that us as designers and the brands may encounter when embracing the unconventional. To minimize the risks, here's a few options and a few kind of options that you should be looking at to figure out how to avoid the risk. Diligent research, that's number one. Obviously, hopefully you're doing that with your client already. Doing some testing with your competitors, seeing how the new work and the old work stack up against what's out there in the competitive landscape. Before leaping into this unknown, you want to try to gather as much of the insights as possible. Maybe you can do some surveys conducted on social media with some of the brand's consumers, and do a ton of testing when it comes to prototypes. This might be a great opportunity for you to try different iterations of that design to see what really sticks. This approach helps refine unconventional design choices. It's a research and testing process that will help you throughout the process include those surveys, focus groups, and other design iterations, and that way you can kind of guarantee success when it comes to what you're working on with these new and unique ones. Now let's shift a little bit to the focus of the bright side. These are the benefits. This is that unconventional design that offers opportunity for increased brand visibility, a little bit of differentiation when it comes to you and the competitors, and that marketing and market disruption that we were talking about. What I love about it too is it's kind of a gateway for innovation that you and the client can really be working on together. And if you explain to them a little bit about the advantages of this disruption and what you can do for it, it really is a great thing to walk together on and figure out what this new brand, if you're rebranding or starting a brand from scratch, to start off with this process from the very beginning. It's such a huge benefit to have, and maybe get you into the marketplace a little bit ahead of if you were just much more conventional. It is possible to embrace the unconventional while maintaining brand recognition and trust. Consistency in the brand elements, in the storytelling, and that authentic communication are key. These are kind of the cornerstones that you would do in any of your packaging or your brand projects, and you're just making sure that you're there. Some great examples that you can see here in this unconventional design space, you've got things like Goodles, which is a really fantastic mac and cheese brand. And the fact that they are including these bright colors and really unique photography and great typography all together in one is creating a new and unconventional look. but they're sticking to the conventional standards of a line look and different colors for different variations. You've got recessed beverages and you've got plenty, which is kind of the baby kale mix there on the bottom. Again, they're all doing it more in a minimal way, but still with all the excitement of some unconventional design processes that maybe weren't considered before. Today, we've ventured into this uncharted territory, celebrating the rebels, the visionaries, and the pioneers who dare to challenge norms and redefine the design industry. We've witnessed how unconventional design can captivate the attention, it can build emotional connections, and it can reshape the perceptions. But our journey doesn't end here. It's a call to action. The world of design is this canvas, and guess what, guys? You hold the brush. Don't fear this unknown, embrace it. Innovation thrives in the unfamiliar, and it's the unconventional that reshapes this industry. The Maya principle reminds us that in design, we can honor tradition while boldly embracing the future. Balance is the key. Maintain the comforting handrail of familiarity as you venture into the new. This uncharted territory is just going to blow up, and it's going to be incredible to see what everybody does. So balance tradition and innovation. Risk-taking is the heartbeat of innovation. Don't just take the risk for risk's sake. Take them with purpose, with strategy. Be courageous and make sure that you're thoughtful in your approach. Take risks with purpose. Guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this presentation and anything maybe I forgot. If you have any questions as well, best place to reach me is longodesigns.com is my website, and Longo Designs on Instagram. As we conclude, I invite you to carry this torch of the unconventional. Let's ignite your creativity, embolden your designs, and propel you to push boundaries. Be the visionary, the game changer, and the rule breaker. In this world of design, the future belongs to those who dare. Thanks so much, guys.